on. Wait, 2 seconds, guys. I had it set on the wrong thing. Figaro. Okay, there we go. It's picking me up now.
This is Balls from Outside, where structure does not exist.
Never.
How are we?
Literally.
How are we?
Guest starring Alex, Curly Fox,
The innocent one.
The innocent one, the Groot, Hamish, the
The,
Mario,
The Mario one.
the Mario one.
the voice of Mario.
The voice of Mario.
Who may also be Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Oh, God.
So, we were going to discuss some stories that we've thought have in advance.
Yeah, so I want...
with
Yeah, so I want to start with something we elaborated on last time. It's the most important video games to us. So I want to ask, what are your guys' most important video games? They don't have to be your favorites, just the ones that had the most impact or influence.
I'll let you guys go first.
Right, actually, Alex, we cut you off last time because you didn't get to explain your history with Mario, so you can go first on this one.
Yep.
okay.
So they don't have to be your favorite games, just the ones that made you want to pick up a controller.
Okay, so the things that I would say would have to have the most influence on me probably have to be Shadow the Hedgehog.
That masterpiece game.
Ooh. Oof.
Because basically, I don't know why, but I guess it's just childhood highlight, and it did mostly introduce me to. Okay, it didn't really introduce me to anything, but it introduced me to the character of Shadow.
I mean, Alex, don't be ashamed of the game. I grew up with Sonic R.
That bad game. Okay,
Any other games?
it was probably also Madagascar.
Madagascar?
That game was pretty fun.
Madagascar had a game?
Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 game and a game.
Little fun. Sorry to interrupt you, Alex. Little fun fact about that game. Same developer as Crash 4.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Toys for Bob.
And also, talking about Crash Bandicoot, those games, particularly the first game and the Crash Bandicoot ones, like the very original PlayStation 1 ports, they were childhood highlights, and just by hearing their music and, the gameplay, it brought back to those times when I was so busy.
Nice.
So, in terms of influence and impact, I wouldn't exactly say that it's influenced me, fortunately, because, but sometimes video games can have a bad influence on you, especially if it was Shadow the Hedgehog.
It drove you to become an emo hedgehog and shoot loads of aliens.
You wouldn't be surprised, but I mostly did the hero missions.
Of course. Right, Rosa, your turn. Most influential and important video games for you.
So I had to think about this one. So it was mostly the Pokemon games, but also
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot
Classic.
that made me.
I mean, the Pokemon games were massive in the 90s.
Yeah, they were more like back then. It'd be like red and yellow and things like that. And then Crash would be the one that would be my first proper console.
Okay.
So I say that I know people are gonna probably say, "Oh, Game Boy is technically a console."
Technically, it is. But
Like home? You mean like a proper home console? Like,
Yeah,
the real stuff.
like
Yeah, like the real juicy stuff.
None of this Game Boy shit. We're talking PlayStation.
Yeah, fucking PlayStation.
Yeah.
Where you get that.
So was it the first
Yeah.
the first Crash?
It was the very first Crash
Nice.
game. I'd usually come home from like primary school and then just go straight up to my stairs and then go to my bedroom and play Crash.
Makes sense.
I think the funny thing is that we actually did a report on what makes your day in primary school.
And you thought a really derpy Bandicoot.
So I did my project on Crash Bandicoot, and people would laugh at me because.
So actually, see, here's the thing. Did you know what a Bandicoot was at that age?
So no, I actually thought it wasn't a real creature.
You didn't think Bandicoots were real?
Yeah, neither did I, to be fair.
Nice.
But then, like, when I thought, because Crash came out at that time, I actually thought Bandicoots look like that, and when I look up what they literally look like, they look nothing what.
I mean, look at
the same.
I mean, look at Sonic. He doesn't exactly look like a hedgehog.
No.
Which must mean Crash and Sonic are in the same universe. And Cortex and Eggman must be cousins or something.
There's a twist.
Maybe they went to the same school.
And then it turns out so did Bowser as well. There's a twist.
Bowser, but Bowser doesn't seem like the school type to me. I feel like he was one of those teenagers that just hated school.
So Pokemon and Crash for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have played other games, but they didn't have like a bigger impact on my life as it is.
Not on that level.
Not on that level. Aliens, I'd say for the PlayStation would be maybe fourth as well.
Not Colonial Marines, obviously.
Fuck that game. I replayed that, and I fucking hate it. I can see why people hated it.
Oh, what, on my level of Sonic 06 then?
Oh no. Fucking the plot. Why? Why would they have to? No. It's enough for me to actually go and maybe melt the disc and maybe just send.
Would you actually know?
You would have.
I would if I could find the disc.
It's on digital, you.
No, it's on disc. I can't find the disc. He probably ran away and knew that I was going to burn it.
Oh, God.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, the alien species, because they're called xenomorphs for a reason, I do like that they can morph into anything. Like spitters, rampers, or runners, the fucking big one, I don't know what it is, I think it's called a basher or something. It's huge, basically. And I think it's meant to be like a queen version of the runner, because it's on its legs. On its like all fours than that normal xenomorph. But I don't like how someone that was meant to be dead.
You hated that.
Because we found out this is
Sorry,
canon.
who was meant to be dead?
Hex. From Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
He got killed off.
in Alien 3, they actually say that Hex has died.
That was a dickish part. That was a dickish part about Alien 3.
From the crash. And yeah, he was meant to die in the crash. But at the same time, the Colonial Marines is taking place at the same time as 3, where Hex said that, that was a clone or something that died, while the real one.
I thought it was a retroactive continuity.
And I was just like, wait.
I had the same reaction in F9 when they revealed Han was alive. We saw him crash in Tokyo Drift in Furious 7.
Yeah.
We saw that car blow up. We did not see him escape.
We didn't. Yeah, because Hex has died during the crash. They also said in the movie that unidentified female, which is dead, that was Newt.
Yeah, that sucked and Newt died.
And the robot
That was
kind of was torn apart as well.
And somehow he survived.
Yeah, Bishop. Well, he's a robot. You can't kill the robots unless you deactivate them. But
or you smash them.
Yeah, he just
But in the game, Colonial Marines, he comes out of nowhere and turns around and said, "Oh yeah,
I'm alive.
I'm alive." By the way, and you can tell it's definitely the same hex because he's got scars.
And that pissed you off.
From where the Xenomorphs had burnt his.
So it acknowledges it then.
So he does acknowledge it, but it's just like.
Why?
Why make this? Because apparently everything is canon. The games are canon, the movies are canon. So it's like, wait, so how does this work? Because obviously they don't actually succeed cloning until
Resurrection.
Because apparently that
Alien
was
Resurrection, which was even worse.
Oh god.
Yeah, so it was just I fucking hated it, but I played the other one.
You appreciated the other games.
Yeah. Which one was it? I think there was something that was like the Alien vs Predator PlayStation Extinction. I actually liked that one. Just due of the premises, it's kind of like a point and click game.
Nice.
Where you can either pick the classes as always between the queen, like the aliens, the marines, and the predators. But I've always picked the queen because she's huge in the game, and you actually kind of like see how these things kind of multiply, which is kind of cool.
You know, on the subject of really bad video games and things you absolutely despise, I've got a story that we'll get to later. But so you think so? Pokemon, Crash, and maybe a couple of Alien games.
Yeah.
Right. So is it my turn?
Yeah. Right.
So I mentioned two of them last time. Sonic 2. That was the game that made me pick up a controller because, you know, it was on. It was probably like a 30-inch TV. It's nothing big by today's standards, but as a kid, that was massive. I mentioned the first level I saw was Chemical Plant Zone, specifically the underwater section with the rotating stairs of all the levels. And I saw that, and it just made me want to go over and actually play the game myself. And I love playing the game. I played the hell out of the multiplayer with that because we had to share the Mega Drive that was there. So we thought, fuck it has multiplayer. And second game was Pokemon Yellow. Because obviously Rosa and I are massive Pokemon fans to an alarming extent.
Yep.
We had a Pokemon wedding, for God's sake. And I still love that you two were there. So Pokemon Yellow, it was the first RPG I ever played. One of my earliest gaming memories is still getting the rainbow badge in that, and I don't even know how I finished the game because I suck. I didn't think strategy wise in the early days, but Pokemon Yellow, first RPG game I ever played. And then the third one is Puzzle Bobble. When I used to go on holiday and we went to pubs and bars, They always had those arcade machines, and Puzzle Bobble was always the one I was drawn to. That is the most addicting game I've ever played. And all it is you're a couple of dinosaurs just shooting bubbles at things.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, Puzzle Bobble.
Puzzle Bobble.
Yeah, it is the most addicting game I have ever played.
Yeah.
The mascot for it was really cute as well.
Yeah, it's like a cute version of Godzilla.
I think in one of the Godzilla Game Boy games, it actually looks like the dragons from Puzzle Bobble or Bubble Bobble.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Sonic 2, the first game that made me pick up a controller. There was Pokemon Yellow, the first RPG I ever played, and the start of everything Pokemon for me. And Puzzle Bobble, the most addicting video game ever.
Sweet.
Right, so Hamish, go for it.
Your turn.
Okay, so I've already listed Mario and the 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. So
the obvious ones.
I talked about that last time, so I'm not going to go into depth here. So I'm trying to think of a few other ones. Back when I was a kid, I got a GameCube because I wanted to play Mario Kart Double Dash.
Of course.
And from there, I got a copy on Christmas. I got the GameCube for Christmas. I got a few games with it. I got Mario Kart Double Dash. I got the Zelda collection. And I got a copy of Melee.
Nice.
Melee. So I didn't know much about Smash Brothers. All I knew that it was Mario was on the game. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's a Mario game. I'll play that. And I put the game up, and I'm like, what is this? There's so many things going on. But I loved, I grew to really love it, even though I was really confused about it because I was like just a small child. And when it got to the point where Brawl was coming out and I saw the trailers for it, I got more invested into the games that were actually represented in Smash Brothers. So I think Smash as a whole is it's probably one of the most influential games of my life, because not only did it, give me a gateway into playing other games like Zelda, Kirby, Metal Gear Solid, which was one of my favorite games of all time. Like it had Sonic in it as well and everything like that. Not only did it do all that, but I met so many friends through it, because I was part of all these different communities and all these different places, and I know one of my best friends, Armin, from playing Smash Brothers. So that's like a huge part of Smash Brothers has been like a massive part of my life. It's one of the biggest parts.
Yeah, I didn't know most of the characters in Smash until I got Melee, and that is still my favorite GameCube game.
Melee's great. It was a gateway for me to get into like these big series.
Hey, you want to see 10 million other video game characters? Here you go.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, who are these people? I didn't even know who Link was at this point, or Zelda. I was like, what the hell? So that was amazing.
Nice.
Crash I loved as well as a kid.
Of course.
Like I loved Crash. It's one of my favorite games. But as a teenager, I'm trying to think so Zelda is another big one, because this is important for a different reason. I had the collection, like the Zelda collection on the GameCube, where I had Majora's Mask and a few other games, but Ocarina of Time specifically was the one I liked to play.
It's a good game.
Yeah, but the thing is that since I was a child and I had really bad trouble reading as a child, I couldn't read a lot of the text, so I kind of just roamed around Hyrule just doing nothing. And I got up to the point where I got close to the point where Link gets sealed away for years. It was only until I became like a young adult of the age of either 15 or 16 where I went back to the game to beat it. And to me that felt really personal, because Link, obviously, in the game, he was sealed away for years until he became a young adult to fight for Hyrule again and save Zelda. And
so you found it symbolic?
It was symbolic to the point where it really hit home. Like when the credits showed up, I almost cried. I was like, oh my gosh, it's over.
Nice.
Like this at that point, almost a lifetime long adventure had been done. I know as corny as it sounds. And there's a lot of other games that I can go through. Metal Gear Solid was amazing for me. Those games are great. Kingdom Hearts is a more recent one that I kind of got into, and I really like those games. Yeah, I really like, video games are kind of cool.
Video games, they're cool.
They're pretty cool. And you know what? I kind of owe all to like a weird bear and a bird. That's like a hick bear and a bitchy ass bird.
Oh God. Video games are special.
They really are. Like I would not be talking to half the people I know had I not been into the community.
I mean, that's true for me and Rosa. We were both we were surprised to find out we were both Pokemon fans, and then she had Sonic Unleashed, and then it just went from there.
Yeah,
she's
so there you go.
She's almost as big a Pokemon fan as I am, if not more.
I almost love Sonic Unleashed in the amount of same love as I actually have for the adventure games. Considering it was originally going to be called World Adventure.
Yeah.
I know some of your opinions may differ from mine, but personally, I actually love Sonic Unleashed.
See, it's weird, because I remember for many years people would say the game sucked because of the Werehog, and then it gets ported onto the PS5, and all of a sudden people are raving about how much they love it.
I've always been in the mixed category where I don't hate the game, but I don't love it. But I think I love what it's going for, if that makes sense. Like I respect it more than I like it.
Would you like it more if it was better balance between daytime stages and Werehog?
Definitely, and the Sun Meadows and stuff were taken out.
Right, so if they took them out and they had say 3 daytime levels and 1 nighttime level,
or even just make the nighttime shorter, because the nighttime wasn't bad; it was just too long.
I mean, I don't think the first level is that long. It's like maybe 10 minutes, but when you get to Eggman Land, that's like 30 minutes.
It just takes too long in the Werehog. But yeah, no, like I actually like the story in Unleashed. I love the music, like one of the best soundtracks in my opinion.
I think people would you say it's one of the best looking Sonic games?
I think it's the best looking Sonic game.
Nice.
I actually think it's like like I love the style it goes for. Sonic looks like a Pixar character in that game, and I love it. I love everything about Unleashed. It's just the
werehog and the medals.
Yeah, it just goes on for too long. Like,
did they ever explain why the medals are in the game?
No.
Isn't it pretty much anything to do with
Dark Gaia? Yeah, like it's something to do with that, like balance to the world.
Now here's a thought: considering how serious Dark Gaia is, do you think Sonic Unleashed could have worked as the last Sonic game?
Story-wise, yeah, it probably could have. And some people say it is, because after that, it kind of had a reset in terms of writers and, people, like the voice actors and everything as well.
I mean, they tried to do a reset with Sonic 06, that didn't do well, and then Generations referenced everything, including Crisis City.
I don't really think Generations is canon at this point.
I do wish one thing that would have happened, when they go into Crisis City, it's like when you go to Green Hill, Tails doesn't recognize it. But when they go into Crisis City, Sonic goes, "When the hell did I come here?"
Yeah, they could have done that. I just find... Oh, so it's Tails. How do you not recognize Green Hill? You've been there like 20 fucking times.
Oh God!
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if we went up to Princess Street and we're like, "Man, I don't recognize this place."
Oh God!
So on the subject of Sonic, how about we bring it out to UK viewers that some cinemas are now booking for timed seats for Sonic 2.
Oh God! I've learned not to go into movies with hype, but
I'm pretty excited.
Did you see that poster that came out that is referencing Sonic 2 for the Mega Drive?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
They're really going hard on this movie, and I'm really appreciating it.
Yeah. Going back to Sonic 2 for a minute, that's something else that drew me to the game. How cool the cartridge looks, because it's just Sonic and Tails in really cool posing, and that looked really amazing.
Yeah, and then there's Eggman with his big sausage fingers and his beard.
It's impressive that you can get Jim Carrey back, considering he hates doing sequels.
Yeah, this might be the first sequel that actually is better than the first one that he's been in.
That's true, because Ace Ventura 2 didn't do as well. Dumb and Dumber 2 people hate. I think he wanted to do a sequel to Count Olaf, but to A Series of Unfortunate Events, but I don't think the movie did that well.
Probably not, no. Sorry for yawning there.
I should have pinned him. I thought you were referencing Count Olaf there.
No, I wasn't. That was just a genuine yawn. I've never actually seen Count Olaf.
Oh,
does he yawn a lot?
I haven't watched since the TV show came out with Neil Patrick Harris. I haven't touched the movie. I have no need to. Right, something we got to talk about. A couple of weeks ago, Rosa and I went to Comic-Con in Aberdeen.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Tell us all.
Right, so Rosa was hyping this up for months. I think what it was is that we normally go to the one in Edinburgh, but then she found out the cast for Still Game were going to be there, and she's like, "Right, Key, we're going to Aberdeen." Oh God! So we spoke to my dad about this. Thanks to my dad for giving us a lift, by the way, and we spoke to that, and he said, "Right, it's about a 4-hour drive, so I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock in the morning." And I was like, "What?" Oh God! And Rosa would not stop going on about it.
Oh boy.
But we got there, and it was really cool. I've realized now that, and this is not going to stop us from going to Comic-Con, I realize how sleazy they are, because we got to the security checkout at the entrance, and they mentioned we can't take bottles of juice in, and I'm like, since when is that a rule?
Yeah.
And then we got in, and then we saw the restaurant area, and we saw the prices, and I'm thinking, those sleazy fuckers, because for like a 500 milliliter bottle of juice, it's like $3.95 for that. And it was all junk food there as well, like burgers, fries, hot dogs. And I'm like, we may be geeks, but we like salad as well.
Yeah, I could do with a salad.
Oh, meeting celebrities and meeting with nerds and dressing up in cosplay makes you want some salad.
Man, you could go for like a nice cucumber right now.
So yeah, we got there. Rosa was dressed as a Snorlax because that was the outfit you wanted to do.
It's adorable.
Yeah, she looked great in that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, we got into the main hall, and then someone came up behind us and they said, "Oh my God, Snorlax!"
Like, it was so loud. I was just driving around. Next thing you know, I hear a high pitched scream. Ah, Snorlax! I'm like, what?
Oh, that's amazing. I love it when that happens. Rosa, you should have been in character and just blocked everyone from the entrance, like a normal Snorlax would have done.
I actually turned around and said, when they were like counting down on Facebook, like how many people are going to appear there, I turned around and said, well, careful Comic-Con, because Snorlax going to be blocking your entrance.
Oh God! So we get there. First thing I see is a DeLorean, and I was like, it's not all fancy like in the Back to the Future one. It's like in the Edinburgh one. There's a DeLorean there as well. And then the weirdest thing I saw, the first merchandise stand I saw, was for the Universal monsters, like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black. That's one weird thing I saw was a plastic Creature from the Black Lagoon mask, and I'm thinking, right, I know we're all nerds and shit here, but do people still care about the Universal monsters? They're from the 1930s.
I guess so.
Talking about Universal monsters, the horror con that I'm going to that I've been long waiting to go since 2020. It should be officially happening in May.
Nice.
And my e-ticket that I previously booked for 2020, it's still valid.
Nice.
I mean, it will have to be because I've waited 2 years for this moment.
I think we're like that for the Comic-Con in October because turns out it's because of COVID, obviously. They say the tickets can still be accepted then, and that's pretty helpful. We actually tried to get the tickets changed to Sunday because it's John McGinley you're after, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only there on Sunday, so Rose was like, "Shit, can we get the tickets changed?" Mm-hmm. So we had to email them, and it's a pain. But and also since we were talking about Alien Colonial Marines, a game Rosa absolutely hated, I discovered this a couple of weeks ago. The Universal monsters got added to Fortnite. So they have Dracula, they have Frankenstein's bride, they have the Invisible Man, they have the Mummy, and Universal Pictures made like a mini movie for this, where Dracula looks nothing like Dracula. The Bride of Frankenstein has got her hair braided and is practically a ninja, and the Wolfman actually looks fine, but then Frankenstein gets up out of the rubble and says, "We are all monsters." And then I watched it and I'm like, I hate this with every inch of my soul.
Yeah, Fortnite is pretty bad. I'm not playing.
I don't hate Fortnite, but it's really funny to look at. Like they have Rick from Rick and Morty in there.
They have everyone. They're adding the Doctor from Doctor Who now.
They have Nathan Drake from Uncharted as well, and Master Chief.
They've got the Avengers as well. And everything was fine, but then I saw them add Dracula and Frankenstein. I'm like, nope, that's my limit.
Do you know what's really funny? Sorry, this is gonna be a really, really short tangent. Armin really wanted Master Chief in Smash Brothers.
I think a fair few people did. Yeah,
and like at one point, it was at the Game Awards, I believe, where like he thought they would announce Master Chief like there. So I made a theory because Master Chief got announced instead of being in Smash that night, he got announced in Fortnite, and Sephiroth was shown off. So my theory is that Sephiroth locked Master Chief in the 7-Eleven in Fortnite, and just left him there.
Nice.
I'm taking this invitation and I'm locking you in here now. What?
Nice.
After I watched the Uncharted movie, looking at Nathan Drake, it's kind of got me wanting to have a shot at those games. I heard that they have been universally liked.
They're great games.
Yeah, it's the same people that made Crash, I think.
Yeah, Naughty Dog. Really good games. Uncharted 2 is really, really good. Like the second one in particular is really good.
But I think we heard from Jack that the movie's awful.
it doesn't look too great.
I mean, I had no expectations for it, so I knew for a fact. I knew for a fact that they got Tom Holland in it because he brings in the box office money.
Do you want to know something really funny about that movie?
Sure.
I remember it was like, the trailer came out for it. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. And because I played the games, I quite like the games, and I like when Mark Wahlberg showed up, I wasn't sure which character he was playing. I went, oh, Mark Wahlberg's here, and I just went, oh, well, at least he's not Sully. And then Armin just went, no, that's Sully, Hamish. And I went, what? That looks nothing like him.
Yeah, I thought Tom Holland was too young looking to be playing a more janky character.
Like Still Game. Only 2 of them out of the 4 actually look like their characters.
Yeah, so Rosa got autographs from all of them and photos of them. Sanjeev was really nice, the one who plays Naveed, because you said you were feeling nervous.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Don't worry, that you're doing great. You'll be fine."
Oh, that's lovely.
John Rhys Davids was there as well.
The guy from RoboCop.
No, that's not him.
Oh no, that was there was too many people there. Now he was the one that I told you was in SpongeBob, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He was SpongeBob as well. He's Man Ray in SpongeBob.
I don't know if I ever told you this, Rosa. But the what was it? My mum's friend, like one of my mum's old friends, actually used to date someone from Still Game. And but it was before Still Game was even like on a thing. So like, have you ever heard of a show called Chewing the Fat?
Yeah, that's where it came from. It was basically another version of Little Britain in a way.
Yeah, so I used to watch that as a kid, and I used to find it really funny. And I got to see I went to my mum's friend's house at one point with her, and I saw like he had a bunch of copies of it, and I didn't quite piece together until like after I'd seen like, wait a minute, you're one of the people from the show. He's like, yeah. It's like I'm the one who's like and I was like, oh, I can't remember. It's really bad because I can't actually remember who he was. But he was like one of the main. He wasn't like one of the 2 main people in Still Game, but he was one of the side characters.
That was like what happened when you met Jane. You mentioned that your drama teacher was in Still Game.
Yeah, so like there was an episode about like the whiskey. You know how Jack and Victor go to the whiskey tour.
Yeah.
He was Andy, the tour guide. That was my drama teacher.
She was amazed when she heard that.
Which
is impressive because I don't think she was in that scene. She wasn't in that scene.
No, but she was in that episode though.
Oh, of course, they were all in. Yeah, Jane was really, really nice. She was probably the other best one because she looks nothing like her.
Yeah, she looks like a model.
And she just started talking about. She asked how long we were together. I mentioned we got married in October, and she was like, "So how was it planning a wedding during COVID?" And we just started talking about that for about 10 minutes.
Oh.
She was lovely.
She was lovely.
I think we made fun of Ford and Greg because they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And she says they were too busy selling expensive whiskey or something.
That's
but John, who he was in Lord of the Rings, he was like the ginger dwarf or something.
Yeah, he made a kid cry.
Oh.
We were just in the queue next to him, like the family of Spider-Man just kind of holding their baby to like a man. He was like, Steve smiled to the camera, and then all I hear was just crying.
He doesn't like SpongeBob, evidently.
But Steven was a huge.
Yeah, that was weird. I think we were in line with Gavin. I think, who plays Bobby. Gavin and Paul, the one who plays Winston, they were completely mental. They love each other. They're practically family because they're making jokes about Instagram and Boba Fett while we were in line. They're arguing like siblings, and yeah, they were all nice. We got autographs from all of them, and then we look over to Stephen Ogg's line, who's Trevor in Grand Theft Auto, and he wasn't behind the table with all the autographs. So we're like, where is he? And we're like, who's that tall guy wearing the beanie and the hoodie? I was like, oh fuck, it's Stephen. Yeah, he was just hanging out. He's a lot taller in person, by the way.
Oh wow.
So basically, if he gives you the Trevor look, run.
You gotta run.
Yes, and with all these autographs, it was either Trevor from GTA or Simon from Walking Dead. And I don't think he was expecting Rosa to mention this. You mentioned the werepony from Stan vs. Evil.
Oh.
He's a guy that turns into a pony during the day, and I couldn't stop laughing.
And he was like, "Oh shit, that was a fun one." He wasn't expecting that.
Nice.
But like, we got a video call from him for his because she was needing it.
He's got a creepy smile.
He has. I feel like he's a good murderer.
Yeah, when he took this photo, I said that's a serial killer smile, and I think he gave us a laugh for that. Yeah, he was really nice. And we met Claudia Wells as well from Back to the Future. She plays Jennifer. She was really nice.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we talked about the video game that she was in, and she said that was a lot of fun playing the punk Jennifer. I should have asked her which version she preferred. Yeah, she was really nice. We got autographs from all of them, and now we just need to find a place to put them. Yeah, Rosa spent most of the money we saved up on autographs, so we didn't get that many souvenirs.
That's still cool, though.
I suppose those autographs are souvenirs enough.
Mm-hmm. I think it was the crew from Still Game. I think those are the ones Rosa wanted to meet the most.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got to meet them. That's really cool.
They were all lovely.
I'm not sure if Lance Henriksen is going to still be at this year's HorrorCon. I hope he does.
I mean, have they confirmed anyone for October?
Not October. It's actually going to be May.
Don't know.
I'm talking about HorrorCon.
Did they confirm John McGinley?
Yeah, it says that he was gonna be on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think they confirmed Tim Capello as well. I forget. It's because it's been 2 years. I forget who was also in the lineup. Yeah, it was I think we're all just exhausted. The weird thing is, it took us 3 hours to get there. We got around the entire place in 2 hours.
Wow.
And we saw everyone there. We saw people dressing up as Star Wars. We saw Deadpool. We saw the Angry Video Game Nerd as well.
Yeah, a kid was dressed up as
and I think the funniest thing we saw, and I got a photo of this, it was a stormtrooper wearing a kilt.
For this year's Comic-Con, I'm kind of torn between going as the Amazing Spider-Man or for Doctor Strange.
Oh, are you coming for the October one?
Don't know yet. I'm not sure yet, but I'll try.
Because my other onesie came, so I'm gonna be.
She's going as an Espeon.
Espeon this time.
Oh, nice! I'm looking forward to that.
She's got to get a bit of work done on the outfit first, but she should be good.
I'm gonna go as Banjo again because people like that one last time.
I still think the most accurate one you ever did was Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. I probably could go Ralph again, to be fair, but I don't know. Some people didn't recognize that one, which is weird.
No, actually, some people actually didn't recognize it. Maybe your hands weren't big enough.
Maybe not. Maybe
you didn't wreck enough things.
Yeah, I should have just broke the whole con. People recognize Banjo though. I remember there was one like the Glasgow one I went to back a few years ago. When I was dressed as Banjo, like some people were like, "Oh, it's Scooby Doo," which I'm like, okay, like no, that's not Scooby Doo. But there was. I remember like my favorite part was just like when this kid and this it might be like her dad or her older brother or something like that, and I just heard her go, "Is that Banjo?" And I just turned around with the jiggy and I just went, "God!" and we got a picture together. It was really funny.
I remember when you went dressed as Freddy Fazbear, you got a lot of photos sticking with that one.
Yeah, I mean,
we gotta go to the Bears.
Yeah, it was quite literally just like a fursuit, and you had a plant pot on your head for Freddy's head. It was probably the most effort you ever put into an outfit, apart from what is that character from Dead by Daylight?
Huntress.
Yeah, there you go. You put a lot of work into that. I remember you put all that effort in. Then we get there. You forgot the axe that she carries.
I mean, I was thinking to become a Five Nights at Freddy's character, but that means I have to try and remake the masks.
Oh, that took forever. I think that you went through a fair few pots for that one.
but I actually don't mind making them because they were really fun to make.
Oh, but you got seven. You got 7 months.
Yeah, I got 7 months.
It can be fun.
Rosa,
Yeah.
do you still have the Five Nights at Freddy's costume, the Freddy Fazbear one?
Yes.
She might do.
We gotta go as Banjo and Freddy.
Oh God.
The two bears.
I mean, I wouldn't mind making Freddy's mask again, and now I know, like, I need darker fur.
Oh God.
See, a Banjo, I didn't even wear a mask. I just painted my nose black, and that was it.
That's a bare necessity.
The bare necessities, yeah. It was a good costume, though. I had a backpack on. I just didn't have Kazooie with me, but I've got a Kazooie toy now, so that'll complete it.
Oh, 7 months away. It's not long enough. I'm still recovering from going to Aberdeen. That's about 120 miles we drove.
Oof. At least you didn't walk.
Oh.
I'm sure that this October Con is not going to be that far this time.
Oh.
Because, it's here in Edinburgh.
It's in Ingliston, I think, which, thank God, it's not that far. And the mother-in-law has offered to drive us.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, Alex, you said you had a story for us, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not that important, but I could just
All stories are welcome. I like stories.
I've got a week off coming this week from work that I've booked, but it's not really just for a holiday. It's kind of meaningful because next week, particularly next week's dates, like from Wednesday to Sunday, back in 2020, those dates were meant to be my third week back in Australia before the first lockdown began. So we left early, never had that third week in Australia, so that week off that I booked, it's kind of more like reflecting, just living the week I hadn't had in Australia. So it's kind of like also an anniversary kind of thing. So it's kind of like me being honorable.
Yeah.
So during that week, considering I've also been watching this movie during my time away over in Australia, and since it also was one of the things that helped me keep going in lockdown, is the Sonic movie.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Oh yeah, Hamish, you went to Ireland, didn't you?
I did go to Ireland.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about stories in Ireland.
So I, for the longest time, I didn't really travel on an airport, like on my own, just because it gave me a lot of anxiety. But when I went with my friend Michael, I kind of organized most of it on my own, which I'm pretty proud of, because considering, again, I just don't do stuff like this often. And we got on the flight and everything. It was fine. Managed to get to our hotel just fine as well. It's weird because in Ireland the accent is just different enough for me to be like, oh, like I have to actually think about what people have said. Not because it's like, not because I'm being insensitive, but it's just because like I different accents are so strange to me. And so we went to the hotel and we kind of showed up late that day, so we kind of just chilled out for a bit and just went to go look for some food and just relaxed in the hotel for a bit. Just watched some dumb YTPs and stuff like that on the TV.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And so on the second day, we went to the Guinness brewery, where like we got like a little tour of everything, and we just had a wee look around the factory, and it was really cool. But yeah, so we got some really cool pictures. We got to see a lot of stuff. One of the funniest bits was that my friend Michael had to go to the toilet. And I was like, okay. So he went into the room that said, bathrooms. And like I was like, oh, all right, I'll just wait here. So he went in there. He came out from a completely different direction, just 10 seconds later, and just went, I've been deceived. And I just went, but where did you come from? It was like someone made another Michael. Like, apparently the room led to another room that just led outside of a bathroom, which was like, he was just like, oh, what the? So, but yeah, it was cool. We got to go up to the highest bit of one of the highest bits in Dublin. There's this big sort of Guinness tower, and we had a free pint of Guinness from the tour.
Nice.
And it was just so cool. We legged it back. We legged it there and back, so it was quite a long walk. So we got a good workout of it. Next day, we went to go see the Batman in this really cool mall called Livy Valley. And we went to go to this 50s diner that I've been to. I've been to this before, but Michael wanted to go, called Eddie Rockets. And Kieran, you'll get a kick out of this. You know, in Back to the Future,
Yep.
how like the diner and that, like they got the milkshakes and everything. It looks very retro.
Lou, give me a milk. Chocolate.
It's pretty much that. It's pretty much like, it looks exactly like that, and it's really cool. They have these really nice burgers and everything, and they got like these cheese fries. And
So is it one of those themed restaurants?
it is, and
Yeah.
apparently it's only in Ireland, but they have a few of them in Ireland.
Nice.
So it's really cool. And then on the third, like on the last day, we kind of just chilled out and did, just kind of like went around for a wee walk and just went to the airport and went back to Scotland. And yeah, it was a good old time. It was a great old time.
Nice.
Yeah, you look like you had a
We
good
did.
time.
Yeah,
I'm glad you managed to arrange most of the things by yourself.
yeah. What it means now, if I ever want to go to an airport, I don't have to worry about it much anymore because I know what I'm doing.
I have yet to train to go to an airport and travel somewhere by myself because my parents have asked me if there was any place I could go by myself. I could just say, but first I'll go do some airport training. Maybe I'll stop by Manchester, take a plane to Manchester or London first, because one of the journeys I have in mind is going back to Australia.
I'd recommend going with a friend.
Because
I'd recommend going with a friend if you
Sorry?
just when you're traveling.
Alice, can Hamish go to Australia with you?
yeah, in fact, I could pretty much join you and join you, Hamish,
Yeah.
for an airport trip anywhere.
Speaking of Australia, guys, my mum had a really old friend, and she's a Karen.
Oh boy.
Yep, she's one of those. She's a
cabin?
Karen. Her actual name is Karen, so I call her a Karen.
Oh,
yeah.
Karen.
So she decided to move to Australia, and then she turned around and said, "Yeah, I'm definitely going to stay here forever."
Oh boy.
Then a week by, she came back and moved into her same old house that she moved out of.
So she didn't like Australia then.
Yeah.
Moved to Australia, didn't like it. Moved back to Scotland.
Still didn't like it.
See, I've got a funny story about Australia. I was friends with someone who lived just a couple of doors down from me. She was about my age. We used to swap VHS tapes. This was about 17 years ago. I borrowed her copy of Alice in Wonderland. I may have mentioned this a couple previously in the podcast. But she borrowed one of mine, and I borrowed Alice in Wonderland. She moved to Australia before I could return the VHS tape to her. I don't even like Alice in Wonderland, but I'm stuck with it now.
Oh boy.
So what are you going to do with it then? Just pretend
Oh, it's kind of hard
it
to
isn't
miss at this
there.
point.
It's a curse, Kieran. It's stuck with you for life now.
It's like my wife. I'm stuck with her.
Yep.
In a good way.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing about Australia. I could never survive a plane trip that long. It's about 22, 23 hours just to get there.
Yeah, it's so long that I get tummy trouble on that plane, and I just have to man up and just make loud farts in the toilet, counting on the plane noise deafening me out.
I mean, jet lag can happen to anyone. That's why I hated traveling when I was a kid. Like, my mum would drag me to Portugal or Spain. We have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. We need to be there 3 hours ahead of time. We got the check-in lines, which are a nightmare. We got the long security lines. We got to wait for the plane, get down to the gate for the plane. We have to wait for everyone to get on there. and then the flight's like 4 hours long. We have to get a rental car, go up to the hotel we're staying at, and by the time I get there, I'm exhausted. I just want to go home.
Oh boy! See, I would like to do more traveling, but Australia's like one of those ones where I definitely would need to like know someone in Australia to like help me out. Like give me like a
you don't have to join. You don't have to join me on that journey.
I mean, we can both go and just discover ourselves, I suppose. But I couldn't do it solo. Like most trips, I couldn't do solo.
Yeah, Rosa, I remember. Yeah, Rosa, I remember this. We knew someone who moved back to Australia, and your first question is, "Can you bring me back a bearded dragon?"
Yeah.
You just grab one from like the desert. It's just
No, it was a frog lizard.
Oh, it was a frog lizard. Okay.
My paternal grandmother and uncle are living there, so they can guide us when we need it.
I think Colin Hay said it best about Australia.
Yeah, you'll have to strand yourself in Australia for like a month, make it worth the journey.
You'll just have someone who's like, oh, I need to get back to Scotland. Oh, you just chuck her in the ute, mate. Just chuck her in there. Throw her in the ute.
Australian accents are really bizarre.
Well, can I catch it? Mate.
Yeah, can I catch it, mate?
Crikey. I feel like that's one of those stereotypes that they frown upon, because I bet not every Australian says crikey.
Probably not, no.
It's like imagining every Scottish person doesn't speak with an accent as strong as like Mel Gibson in Braveheart.
He's not even Scottish.
He's Australian, oddly enough.
Yeah. Maybe we should do it to them then.
No, well, I just pictured us doing an Australian version of Braveheart.
Yeah. You'll never chuck us in the ute.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They can take our bloody utes, but they'll never take our freedom.
Can you imagine that? Because I'm thinking about movies now that have alternate dubs, like they have French, they have German, they have Spanish and Italian. Can you imagine someone redubbing a movie in Australian?
Oh my god.
It's
not even a language.
You just use Australian slang every time someone talks.
Could you imagine like playing like Sonic or Mario or something, but they have Australian accents instead of the regular one?
I mean, I think people say that with Maureen the raccoon. She was Australian, wasn't she?
Maybe.
Yeah.
G'day, mate. It's me, Mario. we're gonna get the princess. We're gonna chuck her in the bloody ute.
That sounds more fitting for Wario.
It doesn't leave it.
Oh goodness.
God, if Mario.
I wonder who could play Wario and Waluigi in the next film after the first one.
So, in my opinion, I think the perfect casting would be Danny DeVito as Wario and Willem Dafoe as Waluigi, or Nicolas Cage as Waluigi.
Oh yeah, he's playing Dracula soon. By the way, they're doing a movie for Renfield, and they got Nicolas Cage to play Dracula.
It's a good choice.
It's gonna be awful, and this is
probably yeah.
And this is coming from someone who thinks The Vampire's Kiss is one of his best movies.
Yeah, it probably won't be the best. I remember one clip I know of that. It's just the I'm a vampire. But he's just running down the street, and everyone. I like to imagine that wasn't even like a shot of the movie. They were just recording Nicolas Cage in public.
And you know the worst thing is, someone did a 10-hour loop of that one clip, so he's just running down the street constantly. I like to think he just keeps circling, just screaming, "I'm a vampire."
I'm a vampire.
That movie was awesome.
That's the only clip I know of it.
He's completely insane in that entire movie.
He's just insane.
I mean, do you remember that meme where his head's leaning back and he's got the wide eyes? And
yeah,
You don't say.
That's from The Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a special movie. I mean, spoiler alert. He doesn't turn into a vampire. See, I think with a misleading title like that, you can get away with it as long as the movie's entertaining. Because there's a horror movie called She-Wolf of London. It's where this woman's led to believe her family's cursed to become werewolves. I mean, let's put it this way: Teen Wolf, this isn't. And there's murders going on around London, and her aunt is telling her that she did the murders because she's a werewolf. And then we find out at the end of the movie there are no werewolves. The aunt is committing the murders to have this woman committed to a mental asylum, so she can claim her niece's money.
Oof. That's
and then this is the movie's boring as shit as it is. But then the ultimate insult: the aunt's housekeeper overhears her evil plan. So the aunt chases her with a knife, and then she trips on the stairs and then impales herself with her own knife.
For goodness sakes.
The movie is awful, but the ending was just an insult.
That's amazing.
Oh, God. I mean, Rosa likes her really bad movies, but I don't think she'd even last through this one.
No.
What did you guys think of, have you guys seen Turning Red yet?
I have. I'm trying to get Kieran to watch it with me.
I'll watch it at some point.
I haven't seen it.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I liked how they animated it.
I just know that Twitter absolutely hated the movie.
Yeah, it's because, well, there's a few reasons why, but like there was a lot of people were saying like, oh, it looks too much like Cal Arts. I don't know if you guys know what that whole discussion is about.
I don't think so.
It's a lot to get into. Basically, like people say it looks too much like Steven Universe and Adventure Time and all the other shows that come out. But like, that's my response. And like, I don't care. Like, I like those shows.
I mean, Pixar doesn't have to look the same in every movie. Look at Brave. That looks more like a DreamWorks movie.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, one thing I like about the new Pixar movies is that they're actually a bit different from what they usually would do. Like, I loved Luca because it didn't really feel like a Pixar movie. It felt like something out of their jurisdiction.
And see that's what's great about Pixar is how versatile they are, because they can make a movie about toys, bugs, monsters, cars, fish, human emotions.
A man who straps balloons to his house and he goes off on an adventure
with a talking dog.
That sounds stupid, but it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I used to hate Up. I saw it once as a kid and I hated it, and then
I love Up.
About 14 years later, I saw it on Disney Plus and I'm like, right, fuck it, I'll watch it. And then I slowly got the plot where his wife died. And then he wants to do that one last thing that was on their bucket list, which was, I think, move to some remote location.
Yeah, Paradise Falls.
Yeah, he was doing it to... It's a one last favour to his wife. And they were trying to force him into a nursing home, but he was like, right, I can't do this. I got to do this thing for my wife. And I was like, right, I get the plot. I get where this is going. It is actually a really good movie now.
It's actually one of my favorite movies. Period. Like it's just such a lovely story. I love the music. I love the opening. I love how it ends, like with the shot of the Paradise Falls with the house on it and stuff. Just it's one of my favorite movies. Just because of how silly the idea is, but how well they do it.
Nice. I mean, I was watching Toy Story 2 the other day, and that movie that's still my favorite Pixar movie.
See, that's
such
a good
movie is a gem.
I was watching clips of that the other day with friends, and I was making them laugh because I kept quoting like the bit where Woody was getting thrown into the trash.
That traumatized me as a kid.
Same.
Oh, that I
got a nightmare
scared
from
of
that.
that.
But I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to
play with you anymore. No, that's me with that.
Bye, Woody.
That was me with Sonic Forces. Oh, I forgot. This game's not good. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in theaters in 2000, and for some reason, A Bug's Life traumatized me because I was in the first row in like 1990. 9 or whenever that came out. Giant bugs are on the screen. It traumatized me. But the nightmare scene in Toy Story 2, I remember that more. But that never bugged me. That never did anything for me.
Mm.
My mum told me that when we were in the cinema to see Tarzan, Kerchak, that giant gorilla, he scared me, and I tried.
I did that with the Bugs Life. I actually ran out.
Oh boy! Wow. Oh boy. I grew up with A Bug's Life, and I didn't think it was scary.
I don't even like A Bug's Life. I tried to rewatch it, and it didn't really do much for me.
To be fair, I tried to rewatch it a few years ago, and I was like, it's all right. It's not that good.
It's not Toy Story.
It's definitely not Toy Story. I love Toy Story. Like,
can you imagine if the outtakes in Toy Story 2 where Buzz swats aside the bugs
like
was
bugs,
Pixar's opinion on A Bug's Life?
It probably was, to be fair. But like, yeah, like I really wish they'd bring the outtakes back. They were so funny.
Yeah, because I saw that. I saw that on Twitter. People were saying it may have been to do with Turning Red. Actually, they were talking about Pixar movies from the 2000s. It's really weird visuals, fictional outtakes, a TV series that no one pays attention to, and I'm like, right, I know this is unrelated to Turning Red, but the outtakes for Toy Story 2 are still my favorite.
The Rebel, it was the Rebel Taxi treat. I follow that guy. But yeah, do you know what's funny? And I hate to always bring it back to Mario, but they actually did one of those for one of the Mario games.
Nice.
They did that for Mario Power Tennis, and those still make me laugh. I still quote them because there's one bit where Bowser pulls a lever to get like this machine working, like in a menacing way, and he's doing it with Wario and Waluigi. But at one point he pulls it and he gets electrocuted and faints.
Nice.
And then Waluigi just goes, "Hey, don't expect mouth to mouth."
Oh god, can you imagine mouth to mouth in a Mario game?
But yeah, Turning Red was pretty sick. I liked it.
Yeah, didn't you say it was like a very deep, involved movie?
It is.
Yeah, it's a coming of age kind of tale. It's kind of about puberty, which is weird, but they do it with a really good. Like, I think they handled it really well. Like,
yeah,
they did it pretty respectfully. Because everyone at puberty does like a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, wasn't Inside Out sort of like that as well? Because I think they were alluding to that at the end of that, actually.
Yeah, they were.
Maybe that's a twist. Turning Red is the sequel to Inside Out.
Yeah, I think it was better than Inside Out, in my opinion. But
yeah, I think it is.
All right.
Yeah, like it's weird, right? Because I saw Soul, and I thought Soul was okay, but I liked Luca more. I liked Turning Red more.
Oh, Luca was good.
Luca, I actually do. I think I do prefer Luca over Turning Red, but Turning Red is good. But no, Luca, I'll sing the praises of that movie any day. I think that's a great movie.
I once saw a Twitter post saying which of these animated superhero films I would ever watch again. The Incredibles above Big Hero 6.
I think the first Incredibles is better than Big Hero 6.
I mean, most of the time, if you compare a Pixar movie to a regular Disney equivalent, Pixar will probably come out on top.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame because I think Disney really hit its stride with like a lot of the other 2D stuff. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, Disney was so much better with its 2D stuff.
I mean, this is kind of. I mean, Pinocchio is still one of my favorites, but it was in the 90s with like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Tarzan, Pocahontas. You get that uphill climb, and then when you get to 2000 plus past Same Person Who Groove, it's just kind of yeah.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch is one of my favorites.
That'll be the peak probably. Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, and then from there it kind of. Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch.
From there, I think it kind of maybe dipped a little bit after that.
But Pixar's been mostly consistent, and and I still hate Toy Story 4, but they're still really consistent.
See, like it's weird, right? Because like I like Toy Story 4, but like I Incredibles 2 I was okay with. Like I thought it was all right.
Yeah, Incredibles 2, it's kind of too much like the first film. Like it can borrow.
You just swap out Mr. Incredible for Elastigirl.
Yeah, and my issue is that it I don't know. It didn't really feel like a big grand sequel. It just kind of felt like the twist villain was just stupid. Like I could see it coming from a mile away, like, and it just wasn't that well done.
See,
but, not a bad movie.
See, I agree. It's not a bad movie. In fact, I like it, but whenever I say I like it, I have to think, wait, what did I like about it?
Yeah, animation was great, but that's
standard
every
for
Pixar movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the animation in Pixar movies is always amazing. I mean, I even think Toy Story 2 still holds up to a degree in terms of animation.
I would say this, and this may be a controversial opinion. I think Toy Story 3 looks better than Toy Story 4.
I'm not exactly. I think I've seen Toy Story 3. I just cannot remember exactly how much of it, because Toy Story. I
got it as soon as it came out.
Toy Story 3 on DVD, right?
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the cinema, and I remember I never cried at Toy Story 3, which is weird.
I nearly did.
I remember my family did though. It's just it's a great movie. Mm-hmm. Shrek. I know Shrek is not a Disney movie, but I love Shrek. Like the first two Shreks are like some of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube poll asking about the Shrek movies, and they all say the same thing. It's between 1 and 2.
The classic, like they're so funny. Like one, I think is a bit more quotable. Mm-hmm. Like I quote that to my friends all the time.
To be fair, it's like Toy Story. The second one is the better movie, but the first one, you can quote like that.
Yeah, just like the whole like, this is the part where you run away. like,
I've seen the third Shrek at the cinemas, and I've never seen the fourth one, but the fourth one is just most memorable.
Fourth one I actually quite like. I didn't think the fourth one was that bad.
The third one isn't bad. It's just redundant, really, considering the fourth one doesn't really take anything from it, apart from Fiona's pregnancy.
I do not like the third one at all. I don't like it.
It did nothing. I think what the issue is that I have a similar feeling to Back to the Future. The sequel is good, but the first one's so iconic. So if you have time to only watch one, I say just watch the first one.
Yeah, with Shrek, it's either 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. Like it's so good. I think 2 as a movie might be a bit better, but 1 is just classic. Like,
it's all subjective, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Like I love the bit the whole onion discussion, and just like girls are not like cakes. Like, and just and the bit at the bridge. Like, me and my friend always quote the bit at the bridge, like, yes, do it.
Okay.
Like, when we're not listening to each other properly, it's like, stop doing that. This? Yes, that. Yes.
Do it.
Do it. Okay.
Right, I think we may have to leave it there. This has been fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
We'll be signing off on Captain's Log 152. I don't know anything about Star Trek, so I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, don't do that. What? This? Yes, that.
This? Yeah, do it. Okay.